On this episode of DC On Screen, we are talking about the massive news that dropped today concerning the once and future Batman, Michael Keaton, and what his presence means for the multiverse. We're also talking about how Kurt Cobain inspired Robert Pattinson's Batman, the new surprising cast announcement for The Flash, the adult-focused Legion of Superheroes animated series coming to HBO Max, and so much more right after these messages from our mystery sponsors. Welcome into DC On Screen, episode 651. This is the podcast that cuts through the toxic fan folderol to deliver the latest on the DC multiverse on film and television. I'm David C. Robertson, and this, the man who, as a youth, took the euphemism caning the vandal far too seriously, Jason Goss.
That was a hard one to work with.
You know what caning the vandal is, right?
All I know is that poor vandal needed some canes, and I gave him a few. He was destitute, poor, couldn't trade in his area. It was all cane-based barter systems. I just wanted a roast turkey to take home to his family.
Speaking of taking it too far.
I tried to help.
Oh, man.
Bamboo, if you know.
Before we get into it, we of course want to thank the patrons over at patreon.com/DC On Screen. It is really the best way for you to support us. You get extra content and ad-free casts, and we get to keep the lights on. Of course, there are other ways.
Computers.
Yes. Which I, of course, have a new one because of a crash, a horrible crash.
Because of precisely this kind of thing. Devastating failure.
And you know what? Podcast funds helped. In this case, it was the Star Trek Universe Podcast Funds, which is a show you should check out if you like Star Trek. But anyway, of course, there are other ways. As I was saying, we have a PayPal donation link at dconscreen.com and a link to our merch store on the same site. So, yeah, man, that's the haps on that. And look, normally, if you're new to the show, what we do is we talk about projects that are closer to coming out. However, big ass news dropped today, and I'm talking about it up front because I want to talk about it up front. Warner Brothers Pictures released an official 2022 movie preview kit featuring an updated cast list for a number of their movies, including Batgirl. Okay. And Michael Keaton is listed. Ben Affleck is not listed.
Sure.
The preview did say credits are not final and dates are subject to change.
Of course.
But Hollywood Reporter, Variety, everybody's reporting Michael Keaton officially in Batgirl.
Glad he enjoyed himself on The Flash then. That's what that means to me.
Yeah.
Good job, Andy.
Michael Keaton was talking to Variety about why he wanted to come back, and he says, he thought about it for a really long time, what it would be like to suit up again. He said, what would that be like? What if I had to do that again? And he says, just because I was curious didn't mean I wanted to do it. So it took a long time, frankly. I'm not just going to say I'll do it. It has to be good, and there has to be a reason. So that's a little comforting. Yeah. I am very, very excited about Michael Keaton. I know a lot of people are like, how dare they replace him? And how dare they want a Batman who's older than Commissioner Gordon? I don't think you're understanding what the multiverse is, y'all. Like, if that's your takeaway. First of all, like, as of like December 9th, Ben Affleck was talking to the Playlist and saying that he didn't want to really do big IPs anymore. So, like, and look, I don't know if this is absolutely true.
I mean, I know that.
You know that scooper Daniel RPK or whatever. Real, we don't usually talk about scoopers, but he did say at some point that HBO Max offered very recently. He said that they offered Ben Affleck a Batman series on HBO Max, and he said no. So as of right now, even though he really apparently enjoyed himself on The Flash, as we reported a few months ago, as of right now, it seems like Michael Keaton is down for this and Ben Affleck is not. But, the director of Batgirl have made several allusions to the fact that Ben Affleck is going to be. So yeah, I'm guessing.
Caught a couple of those.
I'm guessing Ben is in it. That's my thought. I have no reason to say that definitively, aside from just like the little clips and clues that we've gotten. But, and I don't understand why a lot of people are so upset about this. People who follow this stuff so ardently, because we got reports earlier this year that Michael Keaton was going to be in Batgirl, that's what they were pursuing, that they wanted him to be in a number of DCEU movies after The Flash, being somewhat of a Nick Fury role.
Yeah, there was an ambitious plan after that, but
yes. So I don't know why everyone's.
I mean, at the time it was just
acting,
rumors, but
so
this is nice.
It is nice. And look, if Ben doesn't want to come back, if Ben is like, well, I mean, Ben has said many things. Ben said, I'm not coming back as Batman. Ben said,
things, though. I mean,
I'm not. Look, people change their minds. We've changed our minds. We've had different opinions on this show than when we started out.
Sure.
Ben was struggling with alcohol and said, I am going to do Batman and I'm going to direct this movie. And then he said, I'm not going to do any of that because I'm struggling with alcohol.
Yeah. He pulled away like piece by piece until it was like, no. I'm just, no. I can't touch this.
Then he turned around and did reshoots, or not really reshoots, but additional footage for Zack Snyder's Justice League. And then he turned around in a surprise move. He was in The Flash. So we don't really know what Ben's plans are.
No, not for certain. When you put him in the right pocket, I think he's up for it. But he's when he says like I'm not willing to, I'm not interested in big IPs anymore. I feel him on that. I really do, because there's so much fucking baggage that goes with it.
Yeah, and that's what he was saying. He actively said like there's too much. Like when you have a big IP, too many people are already emotionally invested in it.
Yeah, and we are. He's right, but
he's absolutely right.
It like I said, in the right space, given the right context, I think he's good for it. I'm kind of not surprised if it was true that he turned down the series. I'm a little not surprised, because that would have just been biting off the same apple he had done before. It's not. I don't know. I wouldn't count him out in any capacity for anything really. Mm-hmm. But like this isn't the major thing to me is this isn't Keaton supplanting him.
Yeah, and that's my takeaway, is that this is in conjunction with if Ben wants to come back.
Yeah. I mean, they're specifically making a multiverse movie out of a Flash movie, which always should have been the case. And I'm glad after all the fucking falderall that's finally what was settled on, because it opens up so many doors to play with things like that.
Yes, it does.
I mean, in 3 movies in 10 years or whatever, if Keaton wants to keep going or bows out and Affleck decides, no, I like this space, I'm going to play with it for a minute. Look, think about it this way. Keaton has been out of this for 30 years. I mean, and then he's just going to like hop back in and Batman it up again. Yeah. Affleck could do that too.
Yeah. I've literally seen...
still be making these fucking movies. The DC characters are too powerful.
Yes, absolutely. And I've seen way too many people who are saying, oh my God, they're going to Flashpoint it. They're going to Flashpoint it. And now, Michael Keaton is going to be the DCEU Batman.
Look, on the one hand, I get why that's a disappointment, because I love Affleck too. On the other hand, if you're replacing him with that, holy shit, that's nice for me.
But I don't think there's going to be a replacement. Like, the whole point, and it's funny because when we first started this show, we were very adamant that they could do a multiverse, they could have multiple Batmen, and people would not be confused. And now they're doing it, and I'm seeing we were wrong. People are very confused and angry.
They were confused before. When they, when Man of Steel came out, there were conversations about why Christian Bale wasn't in it.
I know.
There's always going to be a certain level of GA confusion that you just can't help. And, certain filmmakers can make a little space for themselves too, where like, this is what I'm doing. And while you're here, you don't think about it. But it always bleeds over. And the fact that DC hasn't made something so cohesive as the MCU, which is for better or worse at this point. I think in some ways better, some way worse, honestly. Mm-hmm. But the fact that it's not so cohesive, there's not like a fucking Robert Downey just guiding you through the entire thing, Chris Evans. Mm-hmm. Because you don't have that, you don't have the perspective of, watching the Joker movie and just going, no, that's just a one-off standalone. Maybe it'll come in one day, maybe it won't, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Or even watching Batgirl later, if this was 10 years from now and you handed me all the films on whatever a DVD is called then, and said, give these a go, I'm not sure that it would look like a specific thread of ideas. So you got to be able to roll with it a little bit. And there's some mental dexterity, and a lot of it depends on kind of multiversal ideas that are just out of a lot of people's. It's not that they're not smart enough to handle it; they just don't have time to think about that shit.
Well, I think some of them
we obsess about it.
I think, to be fair, some of these people have plenty of time on their hands.
Oh, absolutely. Some of it's
a lot of the people that I'm
ignorance.
seeing. Yeah, a lot of the people I'm seeing are like
spitefulness.
The people who are just angry that Zack Snyder's not directing everything. And
yeah, And a part of me agrees, of course.
Well, I don't want Zack Snyder to direct everything.
Great.
I want Zack Snyder to direct the things he wants to direct.
Oh, specifically that, yeah.
And then let other people do the other things. So
but yeah, like I would love to have seen his take on any of these characters. Full him at the helm, no questions asked from Warner Brothers, all that. There's another part of me that's loved the other takes, and we shouldn't take that away.
Now, I absolutely hope that they restore the Snyderverse, as I've said many, many times. And we're getting, I feel like, closer to more of a possibility of that happening. I mean, we've got Zack's little tease with Final Crisis on Thanksgiving. But at the same time, they very much are like pushing a narrative. And you're not going to tell me that J.K. Simmons knew this phraseology, or maybe he did. He was just in the Spider-Man movie.
He wasn't that deep in that shit.
But he just they were talking to him about like what universe is in or what version of it is, and he says, I was as surprised as I was when Marvel came back to me to do Jameson that they were coming to me to play Batgirl's father, Commissioner Gordon, again in this new version of the universe. And then he says, we've already had lots of discussions about the script and how to play everything. He says, I'm excited by the cast and the directors and looking forward to diving back into the DC multiverse. I feel like and he does say, well, is a more significant character in this story this time around, which is great. When we were doing Zack's Justice League, that was with the intent that we were laying groundwork for these characters to be expanded on. And with these superhero multiverses, I guess now they go in different directions. So I think
that's lovely. I feel like he repeated the words in a treatment very well, but understood them as well. So
yes, I feel like those were talking points he was given.
Yeah. But exciting.
No, I mean, but the fact that they're doing multiverse, as we've stated over and over again, as WB has stated over and over again, means that they can have a version of Ben Affleck in a universe with Michael Keaton. And if they decided to, they could still let Zack finish up his shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of where it's going.
Yeah.
And look, Zack...
all the flexibility is there.
Look, I am excited. We've gotten a lot of over the last couple of days. Europe is saying, HBO Max Europe is saying that it's like in the top one, or it's like either number one or in the top three of their streaming movies. Same for Canada. Most popular title in Crave history is number one in Asia. Warner Brothers is not ignoring that. There are bean counters sitting around somewhere going, hold up, wait a minute. Just because they're not saying what it is for the US doesn't mean they're not still seeing these numbers.
Yeah. I would love to think that somewhere in a board meeting, somewhere, this sentence was said, I don't give a fuck about how you feel about it. Have you seen these numbers?
So I don't think Zack's sequels are off the table completely.
No, not at all.
And I'll tell you
this, the other way to look at this is like, he was done. Affleck was done. Cavill's always been a little bit in. Gal's clearly there. The rest of them are, getting sequels, except for Ray, but we'll see where he gets in if he wants to. We'll see. But everyone's got something to do that's a little bit a part of this universe, or at least in Cavill's case, wants to be, it seems. But if nothing else, even the expansion of this universe and the U-turn, or not even U-turn, just the fucking, turn right at Albuquerque is still opened up a door where we have him again. Like, this isn't a step backwards. This is a step forwards. It's a small step. It's not the one everyone wanted. We wanted to leap into the fucking thing and grab a grappling hook and get on a fucking roof, but it's a small step and I'll take it. It's better than we had before.
Dude, I'm excited about Keaton. Like, if we're talking about live action Batman, Affleck and Keaton are my guys. So I can't be mad about this.
No,
I can't be mad about it. All right. Well,
watch though. Keaton's gonna literally stab Affleck in the back.
I hope
shank
not.
him. Just shank him.
I hope not.
He's gonna shank him and say, "I'm Batman now."
And Ben goes, "Thank you, sir. Can I have another?"
Ben just falls and says, "Sounds good to me. I'm out." And then it's going to be like a bad respawn in a game when they do the wide shot again. His body's not even there.
Yeah.
It's just vanished.
No, I don't want, but it would be funny in like a sketch or something to have Keaton's Batman like just pummel Ben Affleck. And as Ben Affleck is laying on the ground struggling, and Keaton's about to kill him, Ben goes, Zack. And Keaton goes, why did you say that name? And friggin' Alfred runs up and goes, it's his daddy.
You have to save him.
Oh, I don't want that to happen. I love them both. I want Zack's universe restored, but I still want this.
Hell, I wouldn't even be surprised if there's some sidebar in Flash or Batgirl or whatever where it's just a glimpse of them actually battling Darkseid, like all of them. Just a small shot.
All right.
You know, he was using the old ways to get here. Hopefully we revisit that at some point.
But seriously, folks, this is, first of all, these are comic book movies. This is supposed to be fun. And it doesn't do anyone any good to come up with a thing that you think might happen and then start telling people it is absolutely happening because that's what you've latched onto. Like, I know a guy, I won't say his name. I don't know if he listens, but I know him in real life. I know him on Facebook. And he's when they announced that Michael Keaton was going to be in The Flash, he freaked out and he was like, do you think they're going to do Batman Beyond? And I'm like, I mean, I don't think so.
Hope so.
They haven't said that. I mean, it would be cool. And I swear to God, like 2 days later, I see him commenting on someone else's post and being like, "Oh no, they're doing Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton." And I'm like, where did you? What point did you go from? Do you think they might do this to they are definitely doing this just because that's what you want? Like, and that's, you know, I feel like that's what a lot of fans do. Whether it be for negative or positive, they come up with this idea and then they latch onto it and they become completely certain that that's what's happening. And
yeah, but it's such a human nature kind of thing. Like, you know, you're looking at a Christmas present under the tree and it looks like something, and you start imagining what it could be, and by 4 a.m. on Christmas Eve, you're just convinced that's the thing you wanted, and then you get there and it's not. Mm-hmm. And it was otherwise a thing that we would really have loved. But you got yourself all in one space. I mean, the thing I want to point out the most about that kind of behavior is we can't trust these people, not with our emotions, feelings, spiritual desires.
Yeah.
They live on a whim. WB in particular is, they fire people left and right. They've gone through 3 different merges since it feels like we've been talking about them.
And it's funny that they put that little disclaimer, like cast and release date subject to change. Yeah, we know. We saw it was a WB press release.
I read the top line. I saw the watermark. No fucking shit, asshole. Yeah. Did you? That part, you just can't. It's very much it's okay to be excited about things for sure, but you have to have a ripcord because these people are going to let you down in some ways. And even with the best possible intentions, even when it's all just people trying to make the best product they possibly can, it's still not necessarily going to be the thing that you wish it was. And that's going to have to be okay.
Yeah.
Like, short of that, you just have to make the movie you want to make. And even then, if someone else helped you fund it, you're not going to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, it's never going to be what even the creators probably didn't make the thing that they had in their brain. Exactly. I
mean, Snyder's been pretty gracious about Man of Steel in particular about no, that was actually pretty much what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. I believe he responded to you on that one. But
he did. He answered a question of mine. It was a fine day.
And I was very happy to hear that was his answer because I love that film. But, there's still going to be qualifications. Not every scene is exactly how he wanted it, if nothing else, because there's only so much time in a day and budget. It can't be that way.
Yeah. I just don't see the point in...
I mean, no painters ever walked away and went, like Van Gogh didn't, or however you want to pronounce it, didn't walk away and go, it's amazing, it's perfect, exactly.
Yeah.
John Lennon hated his voice. Like, it's just...
And it doesn't serve anyone to decide that you won't accept anything but a thing that's in your head because, they're not going to make it. Like, it reminds me of, I've been thinking a lot about Star Trek 5, where with Spock's half-brother, Sybok, who's all emotional, and he's a religious zealot, and he's, like, obsessed with this notion of finding God, the God of Shakari, and he gets all this big band of zealots together, and they go and they basically hijack the Enterprise, take it beyond the galactic barrier to go find this god, and they find a god of some sort, like this alien creature who just starts like trying to murder everyone. And Sybok Cyborg looks up teary-eyed and says, "Why are you hurting my friends? The god of Shakari would not do this." And the creature says, "Shakari, a vision you created." And I'm like, damn if that's not fandom.
It is a little bit. And I kind of respect the creativity that's required to headcanon yourself into a corner like that. I really do. But
yeah,
you got to have some mental flexibility to get yourself out.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm glad that you're Patton Oswalt. I just wish you had his emotional reasoning.
Yeah.
Because believe me, if you ever listen to that dude talk for 10 minutes on comic book movies, you know that he's got better ideas than any of the Marvel movies and anything that's ever been released. That man could sit there and just like crank out a story in like 3 minutes.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah.
Anyway.
I at least hope he's journaling and, we can pull some of that away.
They really should. Like, I don't know if he would accept it, but there should at least be an offer on the table for him to be like editor-in-chief at DC.
Well, he's a ghostwriter. Like, he just gets pulled in to punch up scripts for the most part.
I mean, he does do that. Yeah.
And apparently fantastic at it, but I wouldn't mind him being involved at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
that'd be all right.
The dude's nerd creds are up there. He knows his shit. Let him do what he wants to do for a second. Let's see what happens. I say that not having watched MODOK, but really wanting to have watched MODOK. But
all right, let's move on to the Batman. Matt Reeves in Total Film Magazine says, this movie, I think, is probably the scariest Batman that's been done because the idea of what Batman's doing is scary.
Well, we were thinking it was going to be scary because it's fucking scary.
Yeah, it seemed very Norm to me.
I was thinking that knife in your side hurts because it fucking hurts. I don't know.
He says, this Batman is anger and vengeance personified. He says it's never been done in quite this way. It's a detective story. It's an action movie, and it's a psychological thriller. Now, I don't normally get into this kind of stuff, but we had a couple of listeners ask me about it, and I had to look into it a little bit. There are reports from Hollywood Reporter's Heat Vision that said that that WB was reportedly testing 2 cuts of the Batman with a mysterious character's appearance on the line. And a lot of people are assuming on Twitter, apparently they have done the final test, by the way, and they did make a decision from what I understand, and that's fueling the flames on this notion. A lot of people are thinking that it is the Barry Keoghan character who was stated to be playing Officer Stanley Merkel, but there are rumors, and I've heard a lot of rumors and people telling me that it's fact, and I'm not sure what's going on, saying that it's another character. He's not playing Merkel. He's playing another character who I will not spoil. But his name was added to the film's cast in an official preview. So if he is the character that they're talking about not having in there based on the test screenings, then he is in it. And I'll let that go. I don't know. But this is a guy from Dunkirk. Apparently a very good actor. I've never really, I don't know. I didn't watch Dunkirk.
I didn't either, but
anyway.
Just don't know the guy. Nothing against him.
Robert Pattinson told Empire that he's made a kind of map for where Bruce's psychology would grow over 2 more movies. I would love to do it. So he wants to be in a trilogy, looks like.
Love it.
And here's what I tweeted. Here's what I teased earlier. Matt Reeves said, when I write, I listen to music, and as I was writing the first act of the Batman, I put on Nirvana's Something in the Way. That's when it came to me that rather than make Bruce Wayne the Playboy version we've seen before, there's another version who had gone through a great tragedy and became a recluse. So I started making this connection to Gus Van Sant's Last Days and the idea of this fictionalized version of Kurt Cobain being in this kind of decaying manner. He's already referred to Batman as a reckless rock star in this thing. I'm really digging the idea of a reclusive, young Kurt Cobain type. And look, there's always room if you really wanted him to be closer to the source material or whatever your version of the source material is, because God knows there's plenty of versions. He could, as a young man, he could be very reclusive and angry and then realize that the Playboy version of himself might be more applicable to certain circumstances and might actually be a bit of a boon in the secret identity department.
Yeah, and the detective part.
Absolutely.
You can get into places, as many Batmen have done before.
You can change as a person is what I'm saying.
The trailer you sent me, there was like this splashboard of things, and one of them was a newspaper clipping where it said Wayne spotted.
Yes.
Very much a Wayne in his Playboy garb and attitude. Made me think a couple things, though. One, yes, that's fantastic. I love that he just pops up sometimes and, gets on the front page because he's Bruce Wayne. And then the rest of the time, apparently, he's not available. And the assumption, of course, would be he's in a drug den somewhere.
Right.
But we have to assume that's when some of that training came into place.
Did you see the thing? This is the primary thing I wanted to talk about in that new International Batman trailer. There are photos of Bruce and I assume Edward as children on a board. It looks like they were from like maybe a yearbook or a newspaper clipping, but there's like Bruce's eyes are like whited out and demonized, and then there's a boy who looks like a Riddler type with glasses, and he's got question marks around him.
Oh, I mean, that would be amazing,
right?
If I wouldn't mind a Riddler at all that took one look at him with the cowl and went, no, Bruce.
And like,
we're
there's
about to
writing
fuck with that.
There's writing that said, "If I knew then what I know now."
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm guessing Edward and Bruce were classmates of some sort.
You would think. I like it.
I'm down.
I'm also just still really happy Reeves chose that song. It's wonderfully fitting.
Dude, fantastic.
It's so good. I mean, a lot of Nirvana is great, but a lot of it wouldn't fit the tone of this.
It wouldn't.
It was a time that man expanded music in ways it hadn't seen before, but
So I'm not really into this kind of thing, but I'm sure somebody is. You might be. There's a viral Riddler site for the Batman, where you can trade riddles for early conceptual sketches. Basically, you solve Riddler's riddles and you get, I'm sure there will be more things coming, but so far, I think it's at RATAALADA.com. And I know that means something, and I can't remember what it was. There was a I should have written it down. There was a like a display in a theater for the Batman, and it had something I want to say in Latin, and I think when you translate it, it means like the flying rat or something like that.
Nice.
But yeah, if you go to that website, it's supposedly, crafted and operated by the Riddler, and you play a game. You choose to play a game, and he gives you riddles, and in exchange, he gives you prizes. So
nice.
And one of the things is concept sketches from the GCPD police files of what Batman is.
That's good.
Yeah.
Next level, though, is there's like an extra special hard level. And if you do it, it crashes your computer.
There might be. I don't know.
I can't imagine the legal liability of such a thing, but it would crack me the fuck up.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I hate doing this show on a single monitor.
Having to adjust?
I'm trying to adjust. It'll be fine.
You'll get there.
The Flash, over to The Flash. A Warner Brothers UK website has listed the cast of the film as Ezra Miller, who we knew, Ron Livingston, we knew, Michael Keaton, we knew, Kirstie Clements, we knew, Michael Shannon.
Well, you got me there.
Mm-hmm.
Number of names I might have tried to pull out of a hat, and that was not among them.
I know.
All right.
God. Angie Trow and Sasha Kaye was also listed. Again, had somebody ask about this. I'll say this. It makes sense. Illuminati is reporting that Wonder Woman is going to be in Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, if that's true, I don't generally consider Illuminati, a spectacular source on anything.
Oh, God, no.
But, yeah, it would make sense. I mean, they're fighting Greek gods.
Yeah.
They're fighting the daughters of Atlas. Why not?
I mean, she should theoretically be involved.
You would think.
And very capable in that, arena.
Mm-hmm. I would think so. And I'm fine with it. I would love for Shazam to make more connections with the rest of the DCEU.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm one of those. It's like, if I was in charge of Warner Brothers, I would be like, yes, you're making the Snyder Cut. Also, is there any way we can bring in Shazam?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Zack said no, I wouldn't say, okay, you can't do it. I wouldn't do that. But I'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
I might cry. I might cry a little bit.
I mean, slightly. Yeah. I mean, I would be... I wouldn't just give up on the first take. It'd be like, okay, but you realize it went over really well.
I saw an interview with Zack where someone brought up Shazam being in, asked if Shazam could be in it, and he just kind of grinned. I don't know what that means.
Oh, he knows. He knows how much fun that would be.
He does, I think.
He's a pretty self-aware man from the interviews I've heard. He's on top of that.
Yeah. All right, Aquaman 2, they released a new synopsis. Action adventure. When an ancient power is unleashed, Aquaman must forge an uneasy alliance with an unlikely ally to protect Atlantis, and the world. I'm guessing that's Orm, based on the photos they've released, from irreversible devastation. Woo boy.
Well, guess we're getting into this. Okay.
All right, moving on. Blue Beetle. By the way, Blue Beetle was supposed to be an HBO Max exclusive. Mm-hmm. Now they're saying that it's going to the theater. That's the report now. It's heading straight to theaters in the fall of 2023.
We shall see.
I mean, this is from what I can tell, from what I understand, this is Cobra Kai stars, I think his name is Zolo Maraduena as Jaime Reyes, and I believe there's going to be a Ted Cord in a mentorship role. I'm waiting any day now for them to replace him with Michael Keaton. But we're looking at August 18th, 2023 for those guys.
Love to see a Michael Keaton. It's like, I don't understand how to operate this suit. Has some cool shit though. I do like
Who
the color.
are you? I'm Ted Cord. Mm-hmm. Constantine. Keanu Reeves was talking to Stephen Colbert, or Colbert. I guess
never know
how you say his name. And said he would love to do a Constantine. He's been trying to get a sequel to his Constantine off the ground. As big as Keanu Reeves is right now, I don't know why.
You would think someone would just hand him a check and say, thank you for offering, and what else do you need?
I mean, I guess they're like, well, I mean, I don't know, because we had him on a show, and then we took him off the show because J.J. Abrams wanted to do something with him on HBO Max. And I'm like, he's Keanu Reeves. You give him whatever he wants.
Yeah, he can carry it. He's fine. I mean, I told you before we started, it is taking every single ounce of willpower I have to not just be watching Matrix Resurrections in the background right now.
I understand, man. I get it.
I've waited so long.
I get it, man. I surprisingly right now,
it's currently 9:09 p.m. when we're recording, which of course is like 1 after 9:09. But otherwise, it means it's too late for me to actually watch something, even when we stop.
Now, a couple months ago, I was really excited. I'm like, I'm going to rewatch all the Matrix movies, and I'm going to see this thing like the first day it drops. And then my wife told me, my wife was like, hey, the Matrix Resurrections is out on HBO Max right now. And I went, oh.
Where did all those ambitions go?
Well,
I did all that about 3 months ago in anticipation, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, I am hopeful to be excited soon. I'm going to try to get my gumption up to get excited again.
As you suggested. Do you think everyone would watch this fucking movie? Of course they're going to watch this fucking movie.
Oh, absolutely. Now I will probably, not everyone. We do live in Alabama, and I have met a few people who have now had their eyes opened to the true nature of the story.
Of Constantine or Matrix?
The Matrix.
Oh, okay. No, I meant Constantine.
I thought we were still talking about the Matrix.
It's like, oh my God, everyone would watch that if you just gave them the keys.
Oh, yeah. That too.
You're also not wrong about what I think you were getting at.
Basically, I know some people who are angry that the Wachowskis are not brothers anymore.
Oh, yeah. No, I know that.
And are angry that, Mr. Anderson was basically the white conservative telling the trans person that they are not trans for real and stuff, or disavowing their new name and all that. So
whatever shit fucking text you can come up with in certain areas. Yeah.
I mean, all that's very obvious in the Matrix, especially now. And some people ain't handling it very well, and it's too bad because I'm going to eventually watch the shit out of that movie and enjoy every second of it.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, they can all sit on a bag of sharpened dildos. I've given you an image. I apologize.
You did, and it took me a second. Well, the actual imagery of someone sitting on the sharpened dildos was a fairly quick image that came to mind. I did take a second because then I was envisioning someone hiring a number of people to sharpen the dildo.
It's just factory made.
Well, what I envisioned was like, a group of sailors with like potato peelers.
No, I just imagine an unfeeling machine getting them into their maximum capacity, and then like some Santa sack full of sharpened dildos.
Of course, it was a Santa sack. It was always a Santa sack. I will say, as I've often said
the
before,
little leather pull at the top and everything.
As I've said many times, I like my version better.
Naturally.
I like the idea of a group of sailors whistling while they're sharpening dildos. And maybe one of them goes, "What do you think they use these for?" I don't know, man.
I don't know. Probably bigots.
Best not to ask, man. Paying like $25 an hour is good. We got full benefits. Let's do this.
Got 4 weeks off a year.
All right, we're going to talk about TV in just a minute, but we're going to hit a quick break. See you in a second. All right, we're back, and we are talking about television. And first up, here's another thing that I've seen a lot of people freaking out and thinking, "Oh, great, this is awesome." And I'm like, hold on, it's not what you think. Because CW is developing a Gotham Knights series. And everyone's sort of posting the pictures or the screenshots from the video game and going, "Hell yeah, they're doing this." No, they're very much not. Here's the premise. A series will follow Bruce Wayne's son as he teams up with the children of various Batman villains following Batman's murder. Pretty different premise aside from Batman getting killed.
Yeah.
And of course, the children of Batman's villains have been framed for the murder, and he's got to team up with them. And the series is being developed by Batwoman writers Chad Fivish, James Stodaro, and Natalie Abrams. But it is not a Batwoman spinoff, and it is not connected to the Warner Brothers game.
Being that I haven't played that yet, okay. I mean, once I've played it, I might just be devastated that it wasn't a continuation. For now, I just don't know.
Yeah. No, honestly, one of the things that I really enjoyed Batwoman season 1. Have not enjoyed it since. It's been a lot of exposition, and one of the things that I have not really liked is they tend to do a thing where they're like, "Hey, it's like the next generation of the classic Batman villains," where someone takes on the identity of a former Batman villain. I don't care for the children of the villains thing. I don't care for, and look, I'll watch it, and hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully it'll be really good.
I don't know. As a premise, I can get into it. It's going to be execution.
Yeah. And I don't trust the execution because I haven't liked Batwoman for 2 years, and the thing's being developed by Batwoman writers. So I'm not feeling it yet. And, if anyone ever wants to call me a shill for WB, I hope they hear this, because let us remember, I ain't down with Gotham Knights yet. Yeah. They're going to have a while to go before they really get me on board with this one. And, I said something about it on Twitter, and I don't think anyone even responded to me.
Good start.
Which is fine. But honestly, I do feel like, aside from Superman and Lois, the CW has really been struggling with their shows this last couple of years. And I would, as someone who wants it all, I actually would probably prefer if they focused on their flailing series instead of developing more stuff.
Yeah, possibly. I think it'll ultimately just result in some changing of the guard as far as what shows are airing. I mean,
yeah,
it's not that sustainable. Berkowitz at one point said he just didn't want to air more than the amount of shows that were already going and that were, in that genre. Maybe he changed his mind, but
Stanley Berkowitz?
I thought it was Berkowitz.
Pedowitz. You're talking about Pedowitz.
Pedowitz. Thank you.
I'm like, Son of Sam.
Yeah. Thank you.
David Berkowitz.
That's the one. That's the baby. Yeah, he expressed some concern about oversaturating that anyway.
Yeah,
That was like 3 or 4 years ago, though. So
I'm just that guy. I would love to see the Flash kind of come back to the kind of writing that really made me like it the most. I would love to see Batwoman get back to the writing that made me like it so much in season 1. And I honestly, for Legends of Tomorrow, they've been about the same, but they're a little iffy. But you know what? I was getting a little bored with this new season up till like the mid-season finale, and they just did something that I just did not expect. That was really shocking. I was like, holy shit. I was like, all right.
I'm back in.
All right.
You got me.
But yeah, like I don't think I would like to see CW grow and become, like I've said before, I want less episodes, tighter writing, less exposition, because a lot of these shows, we know for a fact that they don't renew these shows based on live ratings. They renew them because they have huge streaming numbers, and in the interest of streaming and in that spirit, can we cut down on all the exposition? I don't need Barry telling Iris what year their kids are from. I don't, it's just stuff like that just really bothers me. Like,
yeah, I mean, not when you watched it 25 minutes ago.
Right. Like, I'm watching these things 4 or 5 episodes at a time so I could like catch up before they take them off CW. Yeah. I can't keep up week to week. It's just too much. I just kind of hurriedly do it as I can.
There are so many.
It is bothersome to me, and I feel poor writing to keep doing the exposition dumps. Anyway, moving along. Peacemaker. James Gunn confirmed Peacemaker is going to be 8 episodes. It will launch on January 13th. They will have 3 episodes that day, and then they will drop an episode per week until it has run its course on HBO Max.
Yeah.
See? 8 episodes.
I'm into that.
8 episodes, CW.
I know. Sorry, I know some people have found them underwhelming, but I've actually really enjoyed the trailers. It seems like there's going to be some fun moments, some thoughtful ones, but I don't really know what I'm getting yet, and that's a bit exciting. Like, it's at least exciting to watch a trailer and have no idea really what you're into.
Yeah,
as it is to watch it and think, oh my God, this is going to be fantastic. My drive to watch it is the same either way. It's just a matter of I guess dopamine. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm confused and aroused.
Just how James Gunn likes it.
Mm-hmm.
Superman and Lois doesn't have much news this week, but it is kind of interesting here. Kind of exciting. Do you know the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. star Elizabeth Henstridge?
Not my name. Who'd you play?
Simmons.
Oh, yeah.
She's directing an episode, 207, of Superman and Lois. So we're getting sort of like the superhero pantheon, former superhero pantheon directing Superman and Lois this year. We got Amy Jo Johnson from the Power Rangers, who was Kimberly the Pink Ranger directing one. We've got we've got Elizabeth Henstridge going in. I'm down with this.
I'm really digging this.
Yeah, the trailers look great for it. So I'm all aboard Superman and Lois. They killed that first season, man. It was so good.
That's pretty good though. Again, goes into my theory. Confusion is as good as excitement.
Sometimes.
Because I'm down right now.
Starting to get a little too much insight into your sex life, but
only if you take it.
I'm going to.
And you assume that I'm not trying to catch up on shows so hard that I have one. That's bold.
That's fair. They've announced that Tina Wazo is going to be joining the Flash season 8 Mika Abdallah is joining the Flash season 8 as Tina Wazo, who is a member of the Legion of Superheroes. She is Phantom Girl, or in post-Zero Hour continuity, Apparition. She can turn intangible. She can phase through solid objects. But yeah, she's going to be on the Flash. We don't know why or how exactly, or if they're going to be going into the Legion of Superheroes thing. how they described it is after years of successfully hiding in plain sight, reluctant meta-teenager Tina Wiseau's life is turned upside down when she becomes the subject of Iris West Allen's latest investigation for CC Citizen Media. Soon, Tina is thrust into a dangerous world she never knew existed, one that will change her life forever. So it doesn't, to me, it sounds like she is a current day character who may or may not eventually become part of the Legion of Superheroes, or they may just ignore that completely.
Okay. I mean, either way, I'm good. I'm curious about the whole thing.
And they're going to do a thing. It would be so funny if they did, like, the Legion of Superheroes shows up and Mon-El is like, hey, don't tell Kara I'm here. I told her I couldn't come back in this lifetime.
Shh.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's okay. I'll be out in a second.
She's so clingy. You don't understand. I'm married. She doesn't get it.
Leave it was flat.
And The Flash is going to return for the rest of its 8th season with new episodes on Wednesday, March 9th at 8/7 Central, which is a new night for the series, by the way. Legends of Tomorrow returns January 12th. DC's Stargirl Season 2 is now streaming on HBO Max if you're interested in that. And not as good as Season 1 as far as I'm concerned. I haven't seen all of it yet, but I'm like one episode away from finishing. That kid playing Eclipso is creepy as shit, though.
Yeah. I'm mostly through, I'm probably like 70% through that one, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's like, he's creepy, but I am a little tired of the giggling. Like, I'm just like, all right, buddy, he giggles. We get it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of thing that on screen may seem a little blocky, I guess, but in real life, if you were around someone with that, it would be weird, and then maybe funny, and then maybe make you angry. And then after it persisted, 40 minutes into just hearing that, I think I would start to seriously, like, the hairs on my forearms start to raise, like, okay, I think this is how I die.
Yeah.
That's not right.
When I would laugh a lot when I was a kid, it would make my mom angry. And she would say, ain't nothing that damn funny.
Fucking wet blanket award. Goddamn, lady.
How far did you say? Have you finished Stargirl Season 2?
No, I'm a few episodes short.
Okay. All right.
That's one of the ones I'm closest on.
Because I was gonna say something, but I won't say it because I think it's in like the penultimate episode.
I'm definitely not there. 3 or 4 out. I can't remember.
Yeah, something with Stripesy where you're just like, damn. Okay, dude. Okay.
Okay.
You dark as hell.
I'm in.
My God. Anyway, they put out these photos and a trailer for Naomi Season 1. And with the photos, they said that the winged character is not only Naomi's mentor, he is Thanagarian. Thanagarian, if I can say that correctly.
I think it was the second one too.
Yeah. And
Can't be sure.
So that, I mean, he looked like a badass.
Because you pronounce it Thanagar.
Thanagarian. I mean, I don't know. I imagine in a show like Krypton, if we'd had enough of a chance, we would have had at least 4 different English people saying it 7 different ways.
Yeah.
Sort of like how on Arrow they couldn't decide how to say Raz Al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul or Ross Al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul. Or just anything that ever happened in True Blood. But
and then you pop over to Gotham and you have David Mazouz going Raz Al Ghul. Like, ho 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 ho. You threw in like 4 extra syllables, man.
I just wish at some point someone would be like, no, I'm not even trying. So Raw, that fucker, here's what he's up to now. A little ragu over there. Cool.
Ragu. It's the big Ragu. He just died, right? The guy that played the big Ragu in Laverne and Shirley.
I don't even remember who that is, but
oh wow. Okay. Moving on then.
Ragu to me is a very meaty pasta sauce.
I remember someone in school told me I was so fat I didn't have blood, I had Ragu.
Ah.
And then they made fun of me for laughing at it, and I was like, dude, it hurt my feelings a little bit, but it was also a really good line.
But you did something very special there. I appreciate it. I mean, good on you, sir. Good job.
It's like, I mean, God, you're such an idiot. Like, no. Okay. If that's what you need to tell yourself.
No, I got what you were saying and appreciate it.
You're right, sir. I am obese, but that was a fantastic line. So apparently, they also said to Entertainment Weekly that they think fans will be excited for other DC cameos, but it does seem like Superman is going to be included because like in that little clip we had from Fandom, she was running out to go check out Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I got to think Tyler Hoechlin is going to be in here. And you saw the trailer. I think it looks pretty cinematic. I think it looks like it's a pretty quality series. I didn't catch any like cheesy lines.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. I think it might.
Nothing cringe-worthy, as they say.
It might be in that elevated form that CW has shown it's capable of recently.
With the help of HBO Max. And I would certainly hope that they would if it was Ava DuVernay.
Yeah.
Which it is.
Among those, among the pros here, Naomi as a character in the books I've really enjoyed so far. And that actress, I think I'm really gonna dig.
Yeah, they did say it's about Naomi's journey to fully become herself. She's not going to become the person she will eventually become right away. We'll get to be with her in these moments of struggle and triumph and victory as she learns how to be a hero. She starts to realize that this affection and affinity she has for Superman is actually rooted in something much deeper than she thought. We get to watch as she discovers in real time that Superman is really part of her story and she's part of his.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down for all that. It looked like a good show to me.
I'm into it.
So let's pop on over to DC Comics doing this little Legion of Superheroes TV show. A lot of Legion of Superheroes shit going on right now.
There's a lot of them to play with.
Yeah, HBO Max is developing a Legion of Superheroes.
Legion.
Yeah, they're doing a Legion of Superheroes adult animated series.
Let's do it.
With comic book creator Brian Michael Bendis as part of the creative team.
I mean, I'm in. That's a very divisive thing.
It is a divisive thing. He previously wrote the latest volume of Legion of Superheroes. He was working on HBO Max's animated adaptation of his and David Mack's Dark Horse Comics cover. And then HBO Max said, what else would you want to work on? He says, Legions of Superheroes. He says, can you tell I'm jumping up and down about this? I've been working on it for a while, and last week I was sent to the next phase.
Yeah.
I know
interested. He's a divisive writer, but this guy really, really loves these characters. That part's clear. And I've enjoyed most of it. Occasionally it's a little too casual in a way. I don't know how it's explained that. But excuse me. Otherwise the storylines are pretty fantastic. I just think there are major things he didn't that people didn't like. Like he's the one who had Superman out himself as Clark Kent.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like every
speech though.
I feel like every fourth Superman writer does that. Yeah. And then they make it happen where it didn't happen. And then of course it happens again.
Superman will just go kiss everyone on the planet.
Hypnotic kiss from Superman.
Also I don't know. International fucking United Nations, whatever the hell, or interplanetary, whatever the hell they are. I guess I'll have to kiss them too. Forget their name right now.
Well, I mean, he could just go and talk to Kara for a minute and have her give a inspirational hope speech to undo everything.
There's another version where he's running with Enchantress right now in the book, so
you can always do that. Cast a spell.
Plenty of options here.
Though, as I understand it, casting spells to make everyone forget who you are doesn't always work out the best.
I don't know what you could be referring to.
Me either. Now, look, this is interesting, and I'm going to watch this. Not to promote tribalism here, but are you familiar with Slugfest?
No. So reminds me of the Fry and the Slurm Factory episode of Futurama, but other than that, no.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Roku has set the
readjusting my chair to get ready for this. All right, go ahead.
Roku has set the release date for Slugfest, an original documentary series executive produced by Joe and Anthony Russo and narrated by Kevin Smith. It's premiering December 24th exclusively on the Roku channel and will, as they put it, untangle the untold history behind the rivalry between Marvel and DC. Each episode of Slugfest will inspect each company's rich, intermingled history that spawned a worldwide phenomenon centered on larger-than-life superheroes.
It's going to be however many minutes long, however it goes down. And the conclusion is going to be see, worked out for everyone.
Pretty much. It says audiences will leave Slugfest with a whole new understanding of how the rivalry between two creative powerhouses shaped the iconic storylines and characters that fans around the world have come to know and love. Mm-hmm. We're thrilled to partner with the Roku channel to unpack the fascinating but untold history behind the most well-known competition in comics. And then there was a whole bit where they were talking to Kevin Smith, and he was like, they had announced that he would do that NYCC and New York Comic Con, and he said, Smith, they were talking about, heaping praise on Kevin. And he says, I was honored. I'll tell you, when I sat in with Don and Sheena and we did the voiceover, I got to do the narration like I got to watch the episodes. And I told them when I was doing the voiceover, I am so glad that I got to be involved, because if I watched this show and I wasn't involved, I'd be so angry. So, a combination of Kevin Smith and the Russos, I'm going to check this out.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to watch. It's become the most charming part of Kevin Smith after all these years. It's just he's just so into shit.
Mm-hmm. I did want to get briefly into this. Coming to HBO Max in January, we've got All-Star Superman from 2011, Batman Unlimited, Animal Instinct from 2015, Batman Unlimited, Mechs vs. Mutants from 2016, and Batman Unlimited, Monster Mayhem from 2015. Those are those weird, Target, made directly to video Batman movies. I still haven't checked those out. Batman Soul of the Dragon is going to be on HBO Max 2021. Justice Society World War II is coming to HBO Max. Not DC, but tangentially related. Legends of the Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole from 2010. That's a Zack Snyder film. That's going to be on HBO Max.
Okay.
The Lego Batman movie from 2017. Lego DC Batman Family Matters from 2019. Lego DC Shazam Magic and Monsters from 2020. Supergirl, I would assume the series. And Teen Titans Go to the Movies and Vixen from 2018 and 2017, respectively. All coming to HBO Max in January. Did you see this Wonder Woman video game that was announced?
No.
They announced a Wonder Woman video game, and I don't know what any of this stuff is because I don't follow video games, but the game is being developed by Monolith Productions, who is the maker of Middle-earth Shadow of War, and is being described as a single-player open-world action game that will introduce an original story set within the DC universe. The game will be powered by the Nemesis system, the same system used by Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, and I don't know what the hell that means, but
I got nothing. I haven't played those games. I have definitely heard Monolith, but that's it.
I've heard of the Nemesis system, but I don't know what it means. It says the game will use the Nemesis system to forge connections with both enemies and allies. I have no idea what any of that means. Yeah, but I assume a lot of people are going to be excited about it. People have been wondering where there's where are we going to do Wonder Woman? Yeah, we got to have a game. I want a controller. Okay, you're going to get it.
There's going to be a YouTube video right now explaining all of the intricacies of that. We won't be making it, but it's out there.
Yeah, I've fallen so far behind in the video game world. All I know is there's a Wonder Woman game.
Yeah, I haven't been with console in quite some time.
I'm sorry. I don't have a console. I mean, I have several consoles, but I've got up to Xbox 360 and then it goes away. I got nothing. That is all the news I have. Did you have anything you wanted has the Lord laid anything on your heart?
Truly no. Truly I say unto thee no. I say it's 12:04 and I want to get home to my pot roast and my game.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. And however you celebrate the holidays, I hope you have a great one. Or a great them. I have been wearing an elf cap this entire time. I've actually been wearing it for about 2 weeks. Okay. When I do Christmas, I do Christmas. Okay. I had a fun little bit where the cat probably smells. I don't really do Christmas up too much. My wife put up a small Christmas tree, a very small Christmas tree, and then an even tinier Christmas tree in the middle of our coffee table that she described as the geek tree or the nerd tree. And she said to me, will you go get your geeky ornaments? And there was probably about 35 minutes of me just walking back and forth and bringing more out, and her going, that's too much. There are too many. There are too many. I underestimated. And then I knew it was too many, and she had already said that as well. And then I was just too committed to it. So I just kept finding more. Yeah. I'm like, all right, well, here's the Spider-Man with the Santa hat. I mean, now you're in a bit. walk by, come back, like 2 or 3 minutes later. Here's Batman and Robin in the Batboat. Here's a couple more Star Treks.
I'm imagining one of those like 24-inch trees just drowning.
More like 12-inch trees. It's hilarious.
Oh, fantastic.
But yeah, so that's about as far as other than just running around and trying to get gifts and stuff for people. That's about as far as I've gotten into the holiday spirit.
I enjoy WotC. We have a 7-foot motherfucker in there.
Mm-hmm.
Dressed
Lots of pine needles.
Lots of pine needles. Yeah. That's cool, though. Only have to last a few more days, and then I'm going to throw your corpse on the lawn. It's not a forever tree.
I wonder who will wind up cleaning up those pine needles. Anyway.
I will. Frankly. I got that. Any number of vinyls that have been playing in Christmas teams. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll do it while it's there. And then as soon as it's over, I'm like, yeah, go fuck off. We'll see you next.
Right. It's back to the Beach Boys. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever known you to listen to the Beach Boys.
I think I have one album of theirs that I inherited, and I don't even know who the fuck got it into that collection because it didn't match anyone.
Yeah. I think I owned for a time. I don't even know. I might still have it, or maybe I just saw it in Walmart and pirated it in college. But for a time, I had a copy of Brian Wilson's Smile, and I thought it was just because of the hype. Like I just had to know.
Yeah. And
I sat there and thought, well, this is magnificent but weird. And I may have listened to it 2 or 3 more times over the course of 20 years, 15, 20 years, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Not a lot of...
Plenty of stuff I threw on like one time and then 10 years later and thought, well, I've had my fill again.
Yeah. 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 It's right there with Weezer's The Green Album. Mm. Yeah. Well, all right. I had my hash pipe once again.
And all is well.
All is well, and back to Foo Fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Or at the very least, Pinkerton.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, we're going to go. Thank you for listening. Until next time, keep some DC on your screen.
Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
Yeah, we'll be then by then. Oh.
Yeah, by the time we come back.
Fuck it. See you next year.
That old chestnut.
Our intro music is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Galactic Engineers of Magnetic Sounds, or GEMS, can be found on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Visit DCOnScreen.com to find our Patreon, merch, contact information, and every episode of the show for free, including crossovers we've done with other podcasts. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. For more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, vlogs, parodies, and our improvised web series Hey Guy, visit maladjusted.tv.